Picture this: you're sitting in a coffee shop, telling a friend about a big goal you're working on, something that really matters to you. They nod, smile politely, and a week later, nothing's changed. You feel stuck. Less motivated. Almost like talking about it took the energy out of it. Why does that happen? In this video, we're breaking down 9 things you should seriously consider keeping to yourself, not because you have something to hide, but because protecting certain parts of your life might be the key to actually growing. Let's talk about what those things are and why silence can be powerful. Personal growth isn't always loud. Sometimes the most powerful changes happen quietly, behind the scenes. There's value in being open, but there's also strength in keeping certain things to yourself, not out of secrecy, but out of respect for your own process. Here are 9 things it's often better to keep private while you're focused on growing as a person. 1. Your long-term goals. There's a fine line between sharing your dreams and overexposing them. Telling people about your goals can create a false sense of accomplishment, which can actually make you less likely to follow through. Studies have shown that announcing intentions can trick your brain into feeling like you've already done the hard work, even if you haven't started. There's nothing wrong with having a close circle of support. But sharing your goals widely can invite opinions, doubts, and even subtle pressure that shifts your focus. Personal goals deserve protection while they're in the early stages. Give yourself time to build momentum before you broadcast your plans. Let your results speak for you when the time is right. 2. Your relationships. Whether it's your romantic relationship, family dynamics, or close friendships, some parts of your private life are better kept out of public conversation. Constantly sharing the ups and downs of your relationships, especially online, opens the door to judgment, assumptions, and unsolicited advice. Relationships grow in privacy. The more you involve outside opinions, the harder it becomes to work through problems authentically. That doesn't mean you should stay silent if something serious is happening. It just means there's a difference between seeking help and oversharing. Let your relationships be a place where growth can happen without an audience. 3. Your income and finances. In a culture that often equates success with how much money someone makes, it can be tempting to talk about income, savings, or big purchases. But money is deeply personal, and being too open about it can create tension, comparison, or even resentment, especially among friends or coworkers. Keeping your finances private gives you room to make decisions based on your values rather than how they'll be perceived. You're less likely to feel the need to justify your choices or compare yourself to others. Financial growth is about long-term thinking, not social proof. 4. Your acts of kindness. Helping others is something to be proud of, but it doesn't always need to be shared. When kindness becomes content, the motivation behind it can start to shift. Are you doing it for the impact or the recognition? Private generosity is powerful. It keeps the focus on the person you're helping instead of how good it makes you look. Whether it's a favor, donation, or small gesture, not everything needs to be documented or announced. Quiet kindness builds character, and character is what personal growth is all about. 5. Your spiritual or inner life. Whatever your beliefs, religious, spiritual, or philosophical, your inner life is deeply personal. Sharing it openly can be meaningful, but it's also something that's easily misunderstood or misinterpreted. In some cases, people might try to debate or challenge your views, which can distract from your own path. Personal growth often involves asking questions, wrestling with doubts, or sitting with uncertainty. These are private processes that don't always translate well in conversation. Protect your spiritual life not because it's fragile, but because it's sacred. It's okay to explore quietly, without having to explain yourself to anyone. 6. Your family issues. Every family has its challenges. Whether it's dysfunction, estrangement, or painful history, these things shape us. But sharing too much about family struggles, especially in casual conversation, can backfire. Not everyone will understand your experience, and some may use it as gossip or leverage. It's important to process your past, but that doesn't mean everyone needs to know the details. Save those stories for trusted people who can help you work through them constructively, like a therapist, close friend, or mentor. Your family story is part of your foundation, but it doesn't need to be a public narrative. 7. Your self-improvement efforts. Working on yourself is a deeply personal process. Whether you're in therapy, breaking bad habits, healing from trauma, or building discipline, it doesn't always need to be shared in real time. Announcing every step you take can create pressure to show progress instead of actually making it. Worse, it can make setbacks feel like public failures rather than natural parts of growth. Keep your self-work sacred. Share when you're ready, not because you need validation, but because you've genuinely learned something worth passing on. 8. Your past mistakes. Your past doesn't define you, but it shapes you. Being honest about your mistakes can be powerful, especially if it helps someone else. But that doesn't mean you need to air everything to everyone. Sharing the wrong detail with the wrong person can lead to judgment, gossip, or unnecessary complications. Growth often involves moving forward. There's no shame in keeping parts of your past private, especially if you've learned from them and changed. You're allowed to outgrow your old self quietly. You don't owe everyone an explanation. 9. Your next move. One of the most underrated forms of discipline is knowing when to keep your mouth shut. When you're planning your next step, whether it's a job change, a move, or a big decision, it's often better to stay quiet until it's time to act. Talking too soon can invite doubt and delay. People will have opinions, and not all of them will be helpful. Some may even feel threatened by your growth. By keeping your plans private, you give yourself space to focus, adjust, and execute without distraction. When the time comes, your actions will speak louder than any announcement. Privacy isn't about secrecy. It's about boundaries. Growth is often slow, uneven, and fragile. In the early stages, it needs space to take root without outside interference. That doesn't mean isolating yourself, it means being intentional about what you share and with whom. Here's what keeping certain things private allows you to do. Focus deeply. Without the noise of opinions or the pressure of expectations, you can stay connected to your why. Fail safely. You can make mistakes, course correct, and grow without feeling like the world is watching. Build confidence. You start trusting your own judgment more instead of relying on outside validation. Protect your peace. Less sharing means fewer distractions, debates, and draining conversations. There's a time and place to share your story. But not everything needs to be told in the moment. Growth doesn't need an audience. It needs your attention. In a world that encourages constant sharing, choosing privacy can feel like going against the grain. But it's often the quiet choices that shape who you become. Keeping certain things to yourself isn't about hiding, it's about protecting what matters while it grows. So take your time. Keep a few things close. Not everything needs to be posted, explained, or validated. Your growth is yours, and that's more than enough. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this.